really
The problem with world PvP is that world PvP shouldn't even exist. It's always garbage. It's never fair. It's not fun for one person 90% of the time. Like, it's always trash gameplay. Like, world PvP is something that on the internet a lot of people really think is great because it's comprised of a lot of hardcore players. But the reality is that it's not a coincidence that every single classic WoW server has trended towards being one-sided. It's because people act like they like this environment, but whenever they're actually given the opportunity to choose to be part of it or not, they choose not to. That's really the reason. And it's another instance where it's like, you can listen to what people say, or you can listen to what they do. And I know that there's a lot of people that like World PvP, and I think that World PvP was better in Classic WoW than it is even now in Dragonflight or in BFA or Shadowlands. And the reason why is that it was like, it was cleaner, I think. It was cleaner. 5-stack rogue players crying. Yeah, and also, like, I mean, how many of you guys have had a situation where you're questing peacefully alongside a horde member or an alliance member, and you're the opposite faction, and there's an agreed upon truce between the two of you? You're over there, he's over here, vice versa. Then two of his friends show up. Suddenly, there's a burst of confidence, and he's ready to go to war. And it's a 3v1, and you're dead. It's not fun. That's not fun for somebody. Somebody has that happen once or twice, it's okay. But when that becomes the gameplay, people quit the game. Nobody wants to spend fucking hours having their time wasted because they're in an asymmetrical situation that they can't control. War mode off, simple. I get it. I understand. But world PvP was never meant to be fair, and it should never be a focus in the game. The only MMO PvP that should matter should be large-scale tower siege spectacle combat like Lord of the Rings. World PvP should not be a focus in MMOs. It's always garbage. It's always asymmetrical. It's never fair, and it creates more negative outcomes than positive outcomes. There should be instances where you can do it, but it should never be a focus of the game, and it should never be something that is designed around or cultivated. Because it's just that I think that 90% of world PvP interactions are completely asymmetrical, one-sided, and not fun.
You know, there's a base that everyone comes out of, and there's a bridge, there's a chokehold, there's going to be a lot of players commuting through there. Naturally, you can go there, gank them, kill them, and that creates, like, you know, situations where people group up and have little battles and stuff. That's, like, a part of what makes the overworld feel alive and feel cool. Like, yo, dude, somebody help at this bridge, I'm getting ganked, all that shit. I don't know if you guys remember Hellfire Peninsula. I don't want to go too far back and be like sound like some classic Andy.
Like, this didn't happen, though. It didn't happen. It was just some guy that would kill, like, low-level players at a quest giver and, like, Stranglethorn Vale. And, like, somebody would try to play the game, and they couldn't play the game. It did a bit. Yeah, it did a bit. And you know what happened after it did for a bit? Then the server died. Remember on Faralina? Remember what happened to Faralina? Faralina went 100% horde. It's not a lasting model because people don't want to play the game that way. And this is the problem. Everybody says they want to play the game this way. They say they want to do this, but they don't do it. It's reflected in behavior. I don't care how many L's I get in chat for this. I'm looking at the numbers.